Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, my name is Alivia Brown and I am currently a fourth year undergraduate student at UCLA studying anthropology. And as you saw in the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about cultural relativism. Now I know I have a lot of cultural anthropologists who are interested in these videos and it just seemed like the perfect time to dive into this topic. So without further ado, let's just get into it. All right, so we're going to start off with the online definition, and the online definition of cultural relativism, I have my laptop right here as usual, is the idea that a person's beliefs and practices should be understood based on that person's own culture. All right, so essentially what's happening in this definition is that cultural relativism is an approach to understanding a certain culture and certain ideologies around the world. But now let's break this definition down a little bit, and we're going to start with culture. So culture is, I mean, you guys probably know what culture is. It's the traditions, the arts, the norms, the religious beliefs of a particular group of people. Then, of course, relativism is understanding an idea as it relates to different groups of people or different contexts. One example of this is the weather. If you live in sunny California, a cold day could be 50 degrees, right? You're like, oh my gosh, it's so cold outside, it's 50 degrees. But then if you found yourself in Antarctica, 50 degrees is probably a pretty warm day. Now that is an example of relativism. The cold, this idea of being cold, is actually relative to who you are and where you're located and what you actually believe cold to be, if that makes sense. Now these two ideas put together, culture and relativism, cultural relativism, is that we are looking to understand an individual's culture relative to the norms of that culture. Now I know that this still may not be 100% crystal clear for you guys, so I'm going to back up a little bit to another term that is widely known as ethnocentrism. Now if you aren't familiar with ethnocentrism in depth already, I'm going to link a video right here that I filmed a bit ago now, just about ethnocentrism on a deep level, and if you want all the examples and stuff, go check it out. But for our purposes today, ethnocentrism is essentially evaluating another culture based on the standards of your own culture. And this is actually really problematic. One example of this is that people in Peru often eat guinea pigs. Now this is a part of the culture there, but where I'm from in America, it is not popular culture to eat guinea pigs. It's just not really what we do here. And so people from America might actually approach this idea of eating guinea pigs as saying, oh, that's gross, or that's disgusting, or how could you ever do that? And this idea of judging the Peruvian culture for eating guinea pigs actually only exists because you're evaluating their standards, their culture, their norms based on the norms of my own country, of America. Oh, we don't do that here, and the fact that they do that there, that's gross, that's disgusting. That whole thing altogether, that is an example of ethnocentrism, judging someone else's culture or a practice that a culture has based on the standards that your own culture has. I hope that's making sense to you guys. Now that you guys understand ethnocentrism maybe a little bit better than you did before, cultural relativism essentially counteracts ethnocentrism in the sense that it's a perspective that we should be using when it comes to understanding other people's cultures. Now, continuing with this idea of the Peruvians eating guinea pigs, you shouldn't immediately be jumping to conclusions that are like, oh, that's disgusting, or oh, that's gross. Instead, we should be asking, why do the Peruvians eat guinea pigs? Are there religious reasons there? Are there geographic reasons there? How did this cultural practice start? Now, all of these ideas together, this really gives us the best understanding of why cultures will do certain things, whether that's food practices or marriage practices or whatever it is, whatever you can think of. Now, all of this together, basically what I want you guys to take away from cultural relativism and how we should be looking to understand cultures is that everything is relative and there's no one way to do things, all right? Just because you do things your way in Mexico does not mean that it's wrong to do those things here in America, or vice versa, or in China or in Japan or wherever it is, you guys. I mean, every country does things differently, and that is a-okay. We want to normalize all these different practices because that's the best way to, I think, understand people and just honestly respect people around the world. Now, what do you think about this? What do you guys think about cultural relativism? Of course, this is true much of the time, but there are definitely practices where things, I think, universally in humanity aren't a good thing. right? Like, how far does this idea of cultural relativism extend? I think that's a really great question to be having in the comment section down below. Then, of course, if you guys have any other great examples of cultural relativism, please leave those in the comment section down below. This is such a great community of anthropology students, and I love that we can share all this knowledge and information. So please go leave all that stuff in the comment section down below. I will probably reply to you because I'm pretty much a reply to every single comment, so hey. And yes, I think that's actually all I have to say this week. Let me know what you guys want to see in the weeks to come, and yes, have a happy holidays. All right, you guys, bye.